Folks, we're back. We're back home and the puppies are happy to see me, and little Leia here, geez, she's grown. Come on, girl, sit down. Now, for those who don't know, I was away for about 8 days, and that's the longest I've been for a long time, meaning away from my garden in the last few years, especially after all those lockdowns. Now, I went to South Australia, had a wonderful time. Thank you again to everybody. My apologies, sincere apologies with the audio. Now, we realised what was going wrong. It was my phone. It's the phone that I, once upon a time, well, not once upon a time, recently, by accident ran over it with a bobcat. So, and it still works. I had the screen and all that changed, but nobody decided to check. Well, I didn't bother to check the audio or the camera. So both of those functions don't work, as you noticed, that whistling sound. So apologies for that. We've learnt, I've been told. And now we're back, and it's my turn now to be telling somebody else, because I left my humble family to take care of the garden, and I didn't expect them to do it to the nth degree, as I would, and nobody should. We should take action and precaution as to how our garden should be able to be looked after on its own, what it needs to do that, so we can take our holidays and not, well, it wasn't a holiday, but go away and not rely on others to look after it. Now, on arriving back here, I pretty much said every naughty word under the sun in my head, under my breath, but seeing the family, I wasn't rude, so they can see it now in this video as we go through for a little tour. Now, the videographer's trying to have a look at it all, and he did have a quick glance at this. This is our, well, this used to be our Granny Smith tree. I haven't taken the summer crop growth off it, and I walked away for a week, and I've come back to this. What a nightmare. Look at this. This has never happened to this tree before, and admittedly, these are not quite ready. These aren't ripe, nowhere near ripe. Oh, the lower ones have been, everything's been eaten. Literally, this tree had at least 100, if not 200 apples on it. You can see it, there's 10, 20 just in this little cluster. And if you look, the entire tree, except for the low growing ones, which is still late to ripen, every single one of them, every single one of these, it's the first time it's happened, folks. Every single one has been destroyed, except for the half a dozen at the bottom, which they're not ripe. And the only one that's still got a few fruit on it is this one here, but even in the last few days, there was a little blackbird in here just before. They're attacking these, and these are ready. These are beautiful, no codling moth on them, and the only damage we've had here is birds, rats and birds. Now, we do get a lot of rosellas coming through here. They do fly in pairs, but I've seen about 4 or 6 come through on this tree, and it doesn't take much effort for them to destroy it. So this isn't a family problem issue, this is a nature issue, and this is something that I need to net like I've been doing here. So this apple tree is the only apple tree we actually have left that still has any apples on it. So every single, I went to the orchard before, every single apple, maybe one tree with about 2 or 3 that are gone. No, there's not a single fruit left on any apple. Now, I didn't ask the team here if they sold them all, because we did mention we had some apples to sell, but to come back and not have one, ladies, if you did sell them and you're watching this, I don't know how you're going to tell me, but you're going to have to find a way so don't lose it. No, I'm not going to lose it, that's fine, but as long as you got, people at home got it and not the birds, because if the birds got it, I'm in trouble. Now, that's not the worst part. Come and look at my veggie garden. Now, admittedly, folks, it is cooler here. I've got the beanie on, my head was freezing. We've gone into autumn, still going to have a few warm days, and that's a little bit concerning, because, I mean, we're going to be at the end of March, and we're going to hit a 29-degree day or 31-degree day still, but irrespective of that, the garden is just really, you know what I'm trying to say is, if they did maintain it a little bit more, or with a bit more water, they wouldn't be dying so early. I would have had a bit more ripening going on. You know what I mean? Have a look at these tomatoes. I'll be lucky if I even get these to ripen there. Now, that's not a bad problem. I mean, it's only a small plant, very late to grow. But have a look at these ones over here. Come. Ignore this. Don't worry about this stuff here. That's okay. I mean, that's typical, isn't it? When you don't water the garden. But this, my big malacca, cooked. Have a look at this one here. Oh, We got one there, it's only about 500-600 grams, still growing, it's ripening. We've got a few there. Look at the state of this in 1 week. Wow, when you walk away from your garden, this is what happens. Oh, look at that. You know, they sit here long enough to have 3 rounds of poo go on here. Or should I call that shit? Folks, well, we're going to clean all these up. A lot of these plants are going to get taken out, and I'm not going to take them out from the roots. Just going to cut them to the ground, try and get these tomatoes to keep going. Better collect all the seed from the coriander, because look at that, it's already gone to seed. We've got plenty of it. I mean, not already, it's been in seed for a long time, so just got to crack that open, get the seed out of that, and even if this just falls in here like that, that's enough for us, because, you know, volunteers pop up and they actually do a good job of growing. And actually, I should show you that. No, it's not a volunteer, but I want to show you the quality of the compost and the planting mix, because they did water. Now, all jokes aside, they watered twice in the whole week, and it wasn't a hot week, and I did say to the family, don't worry too much. I expect the tomatoes to wear out pretty quickly because it's the end of the season. But everything else, like have a look at the celery. That's doing well. That's holding ground. The beans are finished because they've just got, you know, at the end of their cycle, need to plant more. But I want to show you some of the beds, the new beds that I've prepared, and I haven't planted completely in it, but some of them that have got plants growing in them by comparison, to see how well they retain their moisture. And now, you're going to ask yourself, well, if these beds have been prepared the same way as those, then why aren't these holding the same amount of moisture? The thing is that you've got to constantly top them up, and I haven't topped these up in the last, well, my son did the other day, but leading up to it, I haven't topped them up properly on a monthly basis, for many reasons. So it starts to deplete. So the moisture disappears because there's not as much humus developing in there. The compost isn't holding its moisture. But when it's fresh and you've got activity going on, your plants should look healthy. Forget about the zucchini. We know that's the tough as nails. The pumpkin's doing really well over there. You can see here, this is how I found it. The mulch has been pulled aside. You can see how it's been dug down there. That's the blackbirds. They come in here and they keep digging, exposing the soil, and that starts to dry out. Now, I'm putting my hand on here. I haven't watered today. I actually did water yesterday when I got home. And it's moist underneath, and it should be moist. Now, this is not the freshest of beds that I've prepared, but this is one about 6 months old. So it's having its second cycle of plants in it. And I think that's about the most you will get out of a garden bed without having to get back into a heavy feeding regime. But one of the more recent beds that I prepared that's been getting the same amount of water as every other bed there is this bed here. Now, this is the eggplant that was on its way out. We separated it so it doesn't spread its disease or insects in this case. And this is a bed. Now, there aren't any other plants in here, but you don't have to have a million plants in here to justify the difference. Yes, all plants will drink a lot of moisture, but this is holding its moisture by comparison to the beds that are not holding water. And even if I did put another half a dozen plants in here, it still will be holding its moisture because it's active, and the health of this eggplant, it's kicking on like nothing's affected it. So they're tough as nails, the eggplants, by comparison. But the rest of the garden bed, well, it's weathered away. Time to prune it down. So stay tuned for that one there, folks. We're going to start working every garden bed one at a time, prepare them as everybody else does with their own. And I'll be sharing as much and many tips as I can through the whole process, and investigating and seeing why certain things aren't working and why things are working. And you guys can take that and practice it in your own garden. In the meantime, Theberton folks and South Australians, thank you so much. We are coming back there again. I think it's on the 18th till the 20th. I think something like that of April, but we'll confirm that as we get closer to the date. But look out for more details on our website, vasili'sgarden.com. Otherwise, have a wonderful day, enjoy your garden, and I'll see you again sometime tomorrow or the next day.